There will be tokens. What is a token in C? We have discussed, ma.
Smallest
Tokens in
unit
C.
in C language.
Very good. Smallest individual unit. That means in that, what are the smallest individual units we can call? Keywords, identifiers.
Keywords, pointers.
Yes,
Operators.
identifiers, constants, strings, operators. All these comes under tokens. Okay. Now, according to our syllabus, we'll discuss about the keywords. Keywords. What are the keywords we have? What are the keywords we have in CPP? The keywords which we have in CPP are ASN, ASM. I will show you, ma. I will show the screen. Can you see these keywords? These are the keywords. We are having ASM, auto, break, case, catch, care, class, constant, continue, default, delete, do, double, else, enum, extend, float, for, friend, go to, if, inline, int, long, new, operator, private, protected, public, register, return, short, signed, sized off. We have sized off, we can say sized off also, we can say static, struct, switch, template, this, throw, try, type def, union, unsigned, virtual, void, volatile, while. All these are the keywords, ma. Including to these, we are having some more keywords added by ANSI C++. Those are bool, constant cast, dynamic cast, explicit, export, false, mutable, namespace, reinterrupt cast, static cast, true, type ID, type name, using, wchar t. These are not mostly used, but the keywords which we are seeing in the bold letters here, you can see ASM, catch, class, delete, friend, inline, public, protected, private, operator, new, virtual, try, throw, this, template. These are there, no? All these we will be mostly using in the CPP programming. Remaining all are the ANSI. That means we are taken from the C. All these are C. From C we have taken. The bold one is there, no? You can see bold one is there, no? All these are from the CPP, and these we will be using in the programming. 48 keywords are there. Okay. Now in this, you already have heard about some of the keywords. What are they, ma? Class, you have heard. You have heard about private, protected, and public. Just you have heard. You went in. You did not go in deep, but you just heard about these keywords, right? Now we will be using in one every particular concept. We will be using these keywords. Okay. So you can see these ASM is used to declare the block of code to be passed to the assembler. So we don't use mostly this ASM in our CPP now according to our curriculum, but we will be using auto, break, case, catch, care, class, constant. All these we will be using. Okay. Now all these are the 48 keywords we will be using in this. Many are taken from the C programming only. C programming only. Then what is mean by identifier according to C? Name of a variable. Identifier is the name of the variable. Okay. Now here you can see what are the rules we have seen in C, ma? What are the rules we have seen in C for the variables?
It should not be started with the numbers.
It should not be started with numbers.
No special
Yes, it should
characters
not. It cannot start
included.
with digit. Yes.
Only underscore we can include, ma'am, without any special characters.
Yes.
No white
And
spaces are allowed.
no white spaces are allowed. Uppercase and lowercase letters are distinct.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And
Case sensitive, ma'am.
declared.
Variable names are.
Yes. Once you have declared it as a keyword, it cannot be used as a variable
Name,
name.
variable name.
Yes. Okay. So you cannot declare it as a variable name. So like this, we are having same rules what we have followed in C. The same rules we are going to follow in the CPP. CPP will be supporting, C++ supports several kinds of literal constants like integer, character, float point number, strings. Okay, so like this it will be supporting literal constants, and literal constant do not have memory location. You are going to give int will not have any location, ma. Based on that int, for that variable location will be created, right? We will be writing in the program int, char, float, like that. Do it have a memory location, ma, for int? I am not telling the variable,
No, ma'am.
I am telling for int.
No, ma'am.
Yes,
No,
they are
ma'am.
called as literal constants. Integer, character, float, all these called as literal constant. For this, there will not be any specific location will be allocated. Okay, now you can see here data types. Data types. How these data types, see here in C also we have gone with the data types. Primary data type, that is a built-in data type, we can say basic data types, we can say, right? Derived data types and user defined data types. User defined data types, right? What are the basic built-in data types, ma? Integer, character, boolean, floating point, double floating point, void, void character. These are the basic built-in type of data types. Now in this,
Yes, ma'am.
most useful data types, basic built-in data types are what, ma? Integer type, void, integer type. In that integer type we have integer and character. Floating point we have float, double, and we have void. These are the main things we'll be using under the basic built-in data types or primary data types. Now, what are the derived data types we'll be having, ma? You can see in the image. Array is there, function, pointer, and reference. Reference have you seen in C, ma? No.
No,
Here
ma'am.
in CPP, you can see a reference is also added. Reference is also added. We will discuss about this reference variable. We will discuss next class. Now, and what are the user defined data types we have, ma? Class. See here, normally in a C programming, structure, union, enum, type def. Correct? Huh? These are the user defined data types. What is a new data type added?
Class.
Class.
Class. Class is a user defined data type. So why we are moving into class, you know very well. What is the disadvantage of structure? We cannot combine the or declare the types of data and functions together. But whereas in class, it is possible to declare functions and data together. Okay. So for that, we can consider it as a even class is also collecting the heterogeneous data, and the structure is also collecting the heterogeneous data. We have seen for structure we created structure variable, correct? Do you remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
For structure,
Yes,
yes.
ma'am.
How did we create, ma? At the end of the block before semicolon, or
Yes, ma'am.
in the
We'll
main
use the
function?
keyword struct.
Yes, using the keyword struct name and the variable name.
Variable name.
The same way, when we are using class, ma, for class we can create the object. For the class, instead of we call it as a variable, we call here it as a object. Okay, so that I will tell you in clearly. So what are the newly added derived data types or user defined data types, my? Here reference is a derived data type, and class is the user defined data types which is added here. Okay, so C++ compiler supports all built-in data types with the exception of void. So void, well, the basic data types may have several modifiers, and you can see now if you take character, Now under character, what can be? We can classify unsigned character, signed character. Character, do you remember? I told you in C programming.
Yes, ma'am.
What is mean by
Yes, ma'am.
unsigned character, ma? No need to specify the positive or negative. That means default it will be positive. Default it will be positive only. So no need to represent the sign or the operator. Sign or the operator. Now signed character means what, ma? It will be consisting of negative and positive values. Negative and positive values. Like what is will be the range, ma? -128 to -127. -128 to 127. Total 256, no? Total 256. If it is an unsigned character, we say it as a 0 to 255. 0 to 255 means how much, ma? Total 256 only. Okay. Now character means how do we take character, ma? -128 to 127. Okay. So we will represent in the form of signed char only. Character means. Now integer also will be having the categories. What are the integer categories? Can you tell me?
Long int, short int,
Yes.
Signed
signed int, unsigned int.
Signed
Yes.
int, unsigned int, signed
Yes.
long
Signed
int, unsigned long int,
Very
signed
good.
short int,
Very good, ma. Very good. So all these are what, ma? All these are different types of integers. Integer. How many bytes does it occupy, ma? Integer means in C also same, in CPP also same. How many bytes? How many bytes?
2
2 bytes. Character means 1 byte.
one byte.
1 byte.
Yes. So despite of these, integer will be occupying, long integer will occupy 4 bytes. Signed
bytes.
long integer and unsigned long integer also occupies 4 bytes. Okay. Remaining all occupies 2 bytes only. 2 bytes only. Okay. Next, float and double. Float and double. Float occupies how many bytes, ma?
4 bytes.
4 bytes. Yes, very good. Float occupies 4 bytes. Double occupies 8 bytes. Long double occupies 10 bytes. Long double
10 bytes.
occupies 10 bytes.
10 bytes.
Okay. So the type void was introduced in C programming only. The type void was introduced in C programming only. When do we use void, ma? To specify the return type of a function. Do you remember? Whenever we are declaring a function to specify the return type of a function, what is the syntax we followed for function? Do you remember? Return type, what we have taken there? Function return type. Void, function name,
Void.
within bracket, argument list. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.